Hi guys, if you didn't know already, I'm Maddie.
And my name's Lily.
Today we're going to sit down and answer a few questions that you guys have sent in for us about flying the horses from Australia to the UK. Our first question was, how long were the horses in quarantine for?
So the horses were in quarantine for 28 days and we did home quarantine. So that required someone from the New South Wales government coming out to inspect the property, and then following that we had to do procedures every day, just like disinfecting everything on ourselves before we could go in with the horses.
Next up is a question we got asked quite a lot, and that is, why did we tape the horses' feet up?
We tape the horses' feet for travelling. It's pretty simple. It's just to keep their shoes on. It was recommended by IRT and we were already prepared. So, the next question is, when the horses were in their air crates, can they move around? Is it similar to a truck?
Yes, so it was very similar to a horse truck. Well, actually more like a horse float. They loaded on like a straight horse float, and they had about a bay and a half, so it was a bit more room. And then after our first stop, which was in Singapore, the IRT worker then removed the chest bars and we unclipped the horses, and so they had room to put their heads down, which was great.
The next question is, how did the horses handle takeoff and landing?
So unfortunately, it was just like a normal plane procedure. So all the passengers had to have their seatbelts and be seated. Once we got to the height, we were able to go down and check on them. So we all had to take an oxygen tank just for precaution. You could just, so it was down there with you in case of anything happened. But each time we went down there, all the horses were just happy eating and whatnot.
So the next question is, how many times did we feed the horses, and how many times could we check on them mid-flight?
Yeah, once we had taken off and we're at our height, we could go down straight away and make sure that they were all still standing and all good. And yeah, they've all had hay, and then we keep offering them a bucket of water, which we go around and give them plenty of water. And then, yeah, we just do it every couple of hours. Each flight was about 7 hours or so we probably only checked on them about, twice. You don't want to over-check them because you don't want to annoy them either. Yeah, so all in all, only just checking them about 2 to 4 times max.
The next question is, did we have any horses that stopped eating or drinking, and what did we do about it?
Thankfully, they were pretty good. At the start, there was 2 nervous ones, but already we had all of our horses on ulcer shield, just as prevention, and I also were able to give that to them halfway through the flight. They also provide electrolyte paste, so I could give that to whoever wasn't really drinking that much. But by the end of the flight, everyone was drinking by the bucket. They're all eating really great, and I mean, we've been here almost a week and they're full of energy, so they've really recovered great, so we're pretty happy about that.
Yeah, and they're all eating and drinking normally at home now, so that's good. The next question is, did a vet fly with all the horses?
Sure did. We had a vet join us just as we were loading up in Melbourne, and he was there for the whole flight. He was fantastic. He came down, checking on all the horses, and yeah, he was fantastic. Thankfully, we didn't really need him. Everyone was good.
The next question is, how many horses in total were on the flight, and how many people, grooms, vets, IRT workers, were on the plane as well?
So we obviously had 7 of our own. We had 3 very decorated racehorses, and then there was another 2 that was also joined us from Melbourne. And then there was actually a couple extra horses that were picked up from Singapore. So we had about 15 horses altogether, which I asked one of the IRT workers what was their regular amount, and it really changes a lot on each flight. They can have up to 40 horses, which is quite crazy. But when there's less horses, they have more cargo on the plane. As for the people, with the racehorses, they both had a groom. So there was 3 grooms, including myself, the IRT worker, and then the vet. So only 5 of us, and then our pilots.
The next question is, where did you sit and sleep on the plane?
Yes, so we were on a cargo plane. So pretty much the whole belly is, all for cargo. So that's where the horses and all the luggage and cargo was. And then in one of the videos you'd see there was a little ladder. So we went up there, and that's pretty much just where the cockpit is. And then right behind, we literally only had 6 seats, which was where we all seated. And then behind us, there were a couple of beds for the pilots. Unfortunately, we had to sleep in our chairs, but it was like business class, so we had a little bit of extra room, which was nice.
The next question is, what was the most stressful thing throughout the whole experience?
Well, thankfully, nothing went bad. Nothing really stressed me out. Pretty much straight away from day one of getting into Melbourne at IIT, Lily and Sarah from Willinga Park dropped us off, and I spent the day there, and IIT looked after me really well. I was able to go into town and everything, and then going to the airport, like just everything was so well organised. Everyone was so well experienced, and it was just so professional. Not once, I've never even flown internationally ever. But I was not nervous at all. Even with all 7 horses, it was just really well done, and big credit to IRT and what they do. Fantastic.
The next question is, was it hard to manage 7 horses solo?
Yeah, so like I said in the previous question, no, it was really great because there was all the IRT staff, and they were just fantastic, and all the horses behaved really well, so that helps so much.
The next question is, were there lots of jokes about Spot's size?
Yes, there was. Every time he come out or went into the crate, they were like, goodness me, how big is he? And it was quite cute. So Spot actually went into one of the air crates with a racehorse, Artorias, and he had a groom. And he joked around wanting that he would take Spot home, which was a bit cute. All right, and our final question is, where are we based now?
We are now based at Cheddington Equestrian, which is in Dorset in the UK. We are based here with some fellow Aussies, Chris and Beck Burton. They do eventing. You can follow Cheddington on Instagram as well if you want to stay up to date with their stuff. Once we get settled, we'll be doing a little stable tour in the future, so stay tuned.
All right, and that wraps us up on our questions.
We would also just like to thank Willinga for this awesome opportunity that they've given us. It's really the trip of a lifetime, and we can't wait to share with you guys everything that we're going to be doing, and
hope to make Terry and Jeanette proud, and also everyone back in Australia proud. We can't wait.